Welcome to your Senate. Chair would like to remind our invited guests in the gallery to kindly settle down. Please settle down. Chair likewise instructs the OSA to kindly assist in maintaining order within the plenary. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we proceed with the reference of business.
Any objection? Hearing none, Secretary is directed to comply.
Bills on first reading. Senate number 701, providing discount for indigent job applicants and the payment of fees and charges for certain certificates and clearances issued by government agencies for employment applications. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Labor, Employment and Human Resources Development, Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development.
702, mandating all government departments, bureaus, offices, agencies, and instrumentalities, including LGUs and GOCCs, to source a minimum percentage of their electricity from renewable energy and for other purposes. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Energy, Finance and Ways and Means.
703, strengthening the mental health services of state universities and colleges and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Higher Technical and Vocational Education, Health and Demography, and Finance.
704, creating the National Museum of Filipino Women and appropriating funds therefore. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Women, Children, Family Relations and Gender Equality, Culture and the Arts, and Finance.
705, providing for a revised National Apprenticeship Program, repealing Chapters 1 and 2 of Title 2, Book 2 of PD 442 as amended, otherwise known as the Labor Code of the Philippines. Senator Lapid.
To the Committee on Labor, Employment and Human Resources Development.
706, mandating the inclusion and representation of non-academic and non-teaching personnel in the governing boards of all SUCs, amending RA 8292, the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997. Senator Lapid.
To the Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education.
707, requiring the disclosure of the nutritional information in menus of food services establishments. Senator Lapid.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship.
708, prohibiting online gambling and placing of wagers or bets through the internet or any online platform, providing for enforcement measures, providing penalties therefore. Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Games and Amusement and Banks, Financial Institutions and Currencies.
709, establishing a reporting mechanism for abuses of government social assistance programs, providing penalties and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development and Finance.
710, mandating the installation of closed-circuit television systems in barangay posts and other specific locations under the jurisdiction of LGUs to enhance public safety and security. Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Local Government and Finance.
711, strengthening the system of filing of delayed registration of births, providing for stricter guidelines and penalties thereof, amending for the purpose RA 3753. Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committee on Justice and Human Rights.
712, providing for free dental, vision, and hearing assistive devices, including dentures, prescription glasses, and hearing aids to senior citizens and indigents. Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committee on Health and Demography, Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development and Finance.
713, further expanding the incentives and allowances granted to national athletes and coaches, amending RA 10699, the National Coaches and Coaches Benefits and Incentives Act. Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Sports and Finance.
714, establishing a comprehensive agricultural resilience framework by providing a crop insurance program and a direct typhoon recovery assistance program for small farmers, mandating government subsidies for premiums, ensuring transparent disbursement and for other purposes. Senator Tulfo R.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Government Corporations and Public Enterprises and Finance.
715, declaring Mindanao as the food basket of the Philippines, providing for sustainable agricultural development for other purposes. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform and Finance.
716, creating an agricultural pension program to provide social security and pension benefits to farmers and fisherfolk. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development and Finance.
717, modernizing the warehouse receipts law in order to provide a legal framework that shall facilitate trade and commerce, creating the Warehouse Accreditation Council, appropriating funds and for other purposes. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship and Finance.
718, providing for a rural employment assistance program, appropriating funds therefore. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development, Labor, Employment and Human Resources Development and Finance.
719, providing for the Magna Carta of Young Farmers. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Youth, Ways and Means and Finance.
720, implementing the people's right to information and the constitutional policies of full public disclosure and honesty in public service and for other purposes. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Public Information and Mass Media, Civil Service, Government Reorganization and Professional Regulation and Finance.
721, establishing a ban on the importation of solid waste, providing penalties and for other purposes. purposes, Senator
To
Pangilinan.
the Committees on Environment and Natural Resources and Climate Change, Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
722, Anak Integrating Voter Education in the Junior and Senior High School Curricula, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Basic Education, Electoral Reforms, and People's Participation.
723, Anak Integrating Education on the 1987 Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines in the Grade 12 Senior High School Curricula of all public and private educational institutions, Senator
To
Pangilinan.
the Committee on Basic Education.
724, requiring mandatory autopsy on bodies of crime victims, death under mysterious and suspicious circumstances, and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Justice and Human Rights and Public Order and Dangerous Drugs.
725, establishing job placement offices in public high schools to provide career services to the youth, appropriating funds, and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development, Basic Education, and Finance.
726, creating a system of partnership between local governments and civil society organizations to the establishment of a People's Council in every local government unit, prescribing its powers and functions. Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Local Government, Electoral Reforms, and People's Participation, and Finance.
727, increasing the service incentive leave of employees, amending Article 95 of PD 442 as amended, the Labor Code of the Philippines, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committee on Labor, Employment, and Human Resources Development.
728, granting civil service eligibility to casual or contractual employees of the government who have rendered at least 5 years of continuous efficient service, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committee on Civil Service, Government Organization, and Professional Regulation.
729, expand the benefits of barangay officials to include barangay health workers, amending RA 7160, the Local Government Code of 1991, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, Local Government, and Finance.
730, creating the Department of Disaster and Emergency Management, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
731, Anak instituting a National Dam Safety Program, establishing the National Dam Safety Authority, penalizing violations therefore and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Public Works, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
732, Anak granting benefits and incentives to overseas Filipino workers investing in business in the Philippines, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Migrant Workers, Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, and Ways and Means.
733, granting hazard pay to all public prosecutors exposed to hazardous situations and performing hazardous duties related to assigned cases, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Justice and Human Rights, Ways and Means, and Finance.
734, ordaining the promotion of social enterprises to alleviate poverty, establishing for the purpose the poverty reduction through social entrepreneurship program and providing support, benefits, and appropriations therefore, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development, Ways and Means, and Finance.
735, an act strengthening the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, repealing PB 1467, creating the Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, prescribing its powers and activities, providing for its capitalization and for the required government premium subsidy and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Government Corporations and Public Enterprises, Agriculture, Food, and Agrarian Reform, Ways and Means, and Finance.
736, an act regulating cremation to preserve biological evidence for deliverance of justice, providing penalties therefore and for other purposes, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Justice and Human Rights and Health and Demography.
737, establishing an on-site in-city or near-city resettlement program for informal settler families in accordance with the People's Plan, and mandating relocating local government units to provide other basic services, livelihood components in favor of the recipient LGU. Amending RA 7279 as amended, the Urban Development and Housing Act of 1992, Senator Pangilinan.
To the Committees on Urban Planning, Housing and Resettlement, Local Government, and Finance.
738, amending certain provisions of RA 7305, the Magna Carta for Public Health Workers and for other purposes, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Health and Demography, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation, and Finance.
739, mandating the provision of comprehensive renal replacement therapy to patients with end-stage renal disease in the national, regional, and provincial government hospitals, increasing the PhilHealth package rate for members and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
740, an act modernizing the regulation of health facilities and services and appropriating funds therefore, repealing RA 4226, the Hospital Licensure Act, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance.
741, an act institutionalizing the National Task Force for Tourist Safety, Protection, and Assistance, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Tourism and Finance.
742, providing measures to protect individuals engaged in food, grocery, and pharmacy delivery services, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committee on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship.
743, mandating the Department of Agriculture to establish a national agricultural crop program, approving funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food, Agrarian Reform, and Finance.
744, promoting youth participation in agriculture and agribusiness, establishing young farmers and agripreneurs support program and providing funds therefore, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Agriculture, Food, and Agrarian Reform, Youth, and Finance.
745, mandating the use of surveillance cameras for the safety and security of commercial establishments, Senator Ejercito.
To the Committees on Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, Public Order, and Dangerous Drugs.
746, creating the National Resiliency and Disaster Management Authority, prescribing its powers and functions, appropriating funds, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation, Civil Service, Government Organization, and Professional Regulation, Ways and Means, and Finance.
747, providing for a comprehensive nursing law towards a quality healthcare system, appropriating funds, repealing RA 9173, the Philippine Nursing Act of 2020, for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Civil Service, Government Organization, and Professional Regulation, Health and Demography, and Finance.
748, creating a sustainable framework for the pension system of the AFP, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation, Government Corporations, and Public Enterprises, Ways and Means, and Finance.
749, establishing the Citizen Service Program, amending RA 9163, the National Service Training Program Act of 2001, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committee on Basic Education, National Defense, Security, Peace, Unification, and Reconciliation, and Finance.
750, strengthening the national preparedness and response to pandemic, epidemic, and other public health emergencies, creating a Medical Reserve Corps, therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
To the Committees on Health and Demography and Finance. Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture, the distinguished gentleman from the great province of Cavite, Senator Panfilo Ping Lacson, is seeking the floor to deliver his privileged speech. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
The gentleman from Cavite, the Honorable Panfilo Lacson, is recognized to deliver his privileged speech. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I rise on a matter of personal and collective privilege to uncover schemes surrounding a systemic problem in our country, one that submerges our nation not just in floodwaters, but in depths of corruption. In the course of our research and investigation, we encountered several words. Their meanings we could not find in the dictionary. So, we looked somewhere else. Alas, we found them in the corruptionary. We have a saying, a leaky roof today is a ruined home tomorrow. Thankfully, President Bongbong Marcos himself has taken decisive steps to plug the leaky roof as a determined follow-through on his striking rebuke and appeal to conscience with his resounding admonition, mahiya naman kayo. Wasting no time after his stern warning during the last SONA against those who misuse public funds, Malacanang established and launched the Sumbong sa Pangulo website last week. I commend and sincerely thank the President for this open source website. Not only does it open the public a direct line to the President to report anomalous flood control projects in their midst, but in my case, including that of my staff, the website makes our investigative work a lot easier. For one, the coordinates that the website provides showed us a faster way to find shady, even ghost projects. Last week, the President took aim. Today, I am pulling the trigger. Para sa ating mga kababayan, nakatutok ang aking presentasyon sa araw na ito sa mga flood control projects pa lamang. Hindi pa rito kasama ang iba pang mga infrastructure projects na punong-puno rin ng anomalya. Isa-isahin natin ang mga impormasyong aming nakalap sa mga nakalipas na linggo mula sa aming sariling pag-aaral at pagsasaliksik na suportado ng mga impormasyon mula mismo sa mga DPWH officials at insiders, pati ilang contractors, kasama na rin ang open sources. Una, ang kalakaran ng ilang mga kontratista at mga kasabwat nila sa gobyerno na sa paghahati-hatian ng pondo, kasama na rin ang mga termino o codes patungkol sa kanilang modus. Pangalawa, ang mga palpak na proyekto dahil sa paggamit ng substandard na materyales, kasama na ang mga kontratistang nasa likod nito. Pangatlo, ang mga proyektong lantarang inaangkin bilang congressional insertions. Pangapat, ang patuloy na pagbaha sa iba't ibang lugar na narating namin kahit taon-taon ay paulit-ulit na binubuhusan ng bilyon-bilyong pondo. At ang pinakahuli, ang mga tinatawag ng Pangulo na guni-guni o ghost projects na aming nahukay. For over 15 years, from 2011 to 2025, we appropriated more than 1.9 trillion pesos for flood control management program under the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways alone. Sa loob lamang ng 3 taon, mula 2023 hanggang 2025, higit 1 trillion pesos ang ating inilaan sa ilalim ng 3 naipasang budget measures para sa flood control. Halos 53% ng kabuuang pondo sa loob ng 15 taon. When we are speaking in trillions of pesos, we should expect our streets and low-lying communities to be flood-free when the rains pour. Gayunpaman, sa paghagupit ng magkakasunod na habagat at mga bagyong Krising, Dante at Emo, ilang linggo pa lamang ang nakalipas, kasamang winasak at inanod ng baha ang bilyon-bilyong pisong halaga ng mga flood control projects na halos bago at kakukumpleto pa lamang na dapat sana ay nagbigay proteksyon sa ating mga kabahayan at komunidad. Corruption has been so pervasive and systemic that doing so is like a piece of cake. And when I say piece of cake, I mean that funds for a specific project are divided, shares vary depending on greed, big parts swallowed by corrupt operators, both from the public and private sectors, leaving only crumbs for actual project implementation. Mailan pa ngang proyekto, hindi man lang nagtira para sa taong bayan. Ang tawag ng Pangulong Marcos dito, guni-guni o ghost projects. Mr. President, let me illustrate an example of the pie sharing in a severely corrupted project. Nais kong bigyan din na hindi ito representasyon ng lahat ng kalakaran sa flood control projects sa buong Pilipinas. While the pillaging pattern is relatively the same, the pie sharing varies depending on the level of greed. Ihiwalay muna natin ang mga regular o legal na buwis at insurances na automatic na binabawas sa mga proyekto. 5% value-added tax, 2% withholding tax, 1% para sa bonds and insurances at 1% materials testing. Ibawas na rin natin ang allowable contractor's profit na 8 to 10%. Halimbawa, sa 100 million piso na pondo para sa flood control project, kung ibabawas ang maximum allowable deductions, nasa 82 million ang matitira para sa proyekto. Pero hindi pa rito nagtatapos, Mr. President. Kakatayin pa ang budget para sa mga lagay, commissions, SOPs, at iba-iba pang terminong binubuo para sa shares ng mga korap. Sa mga halos magkakaparehong impormasyon na aming nakalap, ganito kagarapal ang sistema sa hatian ng isang maanumalyang proyekto. 8 to 10% para sa mga opisyal ng DPWH. Swerte na daw kung pumayag ang district engineer na 6% lamang ang parte niya. May ekstrang 2 to 3% pa na parte ang district engineering office kung may sosobra sa contractor's profit. Na-compute na rin kasi ng District Engineering Office ang tutubuin ng contractor mula sa project at sinisiguro na nila na sosobra ito sa allowable profit para mayroon pa silang kukubrahin. Ang tawag nila rito, reseta. Reseta dahil ang presyo na itinakda ng District Engineering Office ay nakasulat at napagdesisyonan na. Parang gamot, Mr. President, lulunukin na lang ng contractor. 5 to 6% para sa mga miyembro ng Beach and Awards Committee or BAC. 0.5 to 1% para sa COA. Mr. President, meron pa ngayong tinatawag na passing through or parking fee na aabot sa katumbas na 5 to 6% ng pondo. Ito ang itinuturing na royalty, ang tawag sa lagay na ibinibigay sa politikong may kontrol sa distrito kung saan i-implementa o itatayo ang proyekto. Lo and behold, Mr. President, 20 to 25% ang karaniwang napupunta sa funder o project proponent na politiko. Mr. President, ang matitirang pondo para sa pagpapatayo ng proyekto ay napakaswerte ng umabot sa 40% o 40 million pesos alisunod sa ating halimbawang 100 million pisong pondo para sa proyekto. Mr. President, there is an evident pattern of this nasty distribution of public funds among crooks. Ito ay base sa mga case studies na aming pinuntahan at mususing inimbestigahan sa iba't ibang dako ng bansa, partikular sa issue ng flood control. Hindi na namin sinama sa aking presentasyon ang mga naikutan at ibinunyag na ng Pangulo. Ang malinaw na malinaw. Halos pare-pareho ang pattern kung paano minamasaker ng mga kawatan ang pondo ng bayan. Nauna na po itong iniulat ng ating Pangulo noong nakarang linggo. Nang banggitin niya ang mga items na pare-pareho ang contract cost sa kabila ng pagkakaiba-iba ng specs, disenyo at haba ng proyekto. Panoorin po natin ang video.
Pag sinabi, may 50 project, pare-pareho, 150 million lahat. Pare-pareho lahat. Imposible yan. It is impossible for one barangay, even if they are the next barangay, to have the exact same project to the exact same amount with the exact same contractor. Imposible yan.
Sa parlance po na ang nakakaalam lamang ay ang mga kasali sa gulangan sa pondo. Ito po ang tinatawag na distinct. Distinct ang mga budget items na makikita sa General Appropriations Act at awarded contracts na may pare-parehong halaga para sa magkakalapit man o magkakalayo na proyekto. Distinct dahil ayon sa aming mga informants sa loob ng DPWH at kinumpirma ng ilang contractors, coded na budget ito para mayroong pagkakakilanlan ang mga quote-unquote may-ari ng proyekto. Para sa mga nakakaunawa, ang ibig sabihin po ay akin yan. Sa Bulacan First Engineering District na pinamumunuan na magkasunod na tinanggal sa pwesto na sina dating District Engineer Henry Alcantara at ang pumalit sa kanya na si Bryce Hernandez. Napag-alaman naming talamak ang ganitong kalakaran. Bakit? Sapagat ayon sa mga contractors at DPWH officials na nakipag-usap mismo sa akin at aking staff, ang dalawang ito ay halos pareho lang ang pagmamahal sa pera. Napabalita pa nga kamakailan na ang isa sa kanila ay nakakapagpatalo ng 100 milyon sa isang kasino dito sa Metro Manila. Mr. President, sa District Engineering Office na ito, sa ilalim ng pamumuno ng dalawang nabanggit na opisyal, para sa taong 2024, 28 proyekto ang pare-pareho ang pondo kahit magkakaiba ang specs, disenyo at haba. Distinct. Babalikan po natin, Mr. President, mamaya ang lalawigan ng Bulacan na aming maituturing na pinaka-notorious pagdating sa anomalya ng flood control projects base sa aming mga findings. Unahin muna natin ang kaso ng questionabling flood control project sa lalawigan ng Pampanga. 4 years now, the riverbank mitigation project in Candating, Arayat, has been the face of a failed flood control project. Tuwing umuulan, panay ang aray ng mga taga-Arayat sa pag-apaw ng ilog na hindi mapigilan ng flood control. Mr. President, binisita ng aking mga staff ang Arayat nitong nakaraang 2 linggo lamang na tinamaan din ng hagupit ni Emong at nagdulot na naman ng pagguho ng ilang bahagi nito. Take note, Mr. President, katatapos lang ng panibagong repair nito noon lang Hunyo ng kasalukuyang taon, 2025. Sa itsura ng structure, tila baga hindi binibigyan pansin ng gobyerno ang Candating. Pero kung babalikan natin 1 taon pa lamang ang nakakaraan o noong Agosto 2024, may gumuho ng flood control matapos mahagupit ng monsoon. Mr. President, a review of the budget books shows that we started funding the construction, rehabilitation of slope protection along Pampanga River, Candating, Arayat, Pampanga, way back in 2018. Let me give a rundown. In 2018, we already spent 20 million pesos on a project for the construction, rehabilitation of slope protection along Pampanga River, Candating section, Arayat. Kalaunan, nasira. Since then, it has become a cycle. Mr. President, we used the people's tax money to repair it in 2023 for a contract price of 91.6 million pesos. It was repaired again by another year's tax money in 2024. This time, not once, but twice, 91.8 million for Phase 1 and 91.4 million for Phase 2. Take note, 20 million pesos lang ito sa una at original construction. If the original construction cost was only 20 million pesos in 2018, why did the repair cost balloon to 350% or 91 million in 2023 and another 183 million pesos in 2024 or an overall increase of 815%. Aba, at nawili na ang funder ng Edmarie Construction na siyang palaging nananalong kontraktor sa Candating, Arayat, Pampanga noong 2023 at 2024. Naglagay pa ulit ng 100 million pesos ngayong taon. Buti na lang, pinigil ng Malacanang ang pag-release ng pondo. Distinct then, but in a very distinct way. As I mentioned earlier, all of these were awarded to the same mighty contractor, Edmarie Construction and Trading. In total, Edmarie bagged 274.8 billion pesos in taxpayers' money for the rehabilitation and repair of Candating na tila hindi nagsasawa sa kare-repair. Hindi lang po yan ang issue ng Edmarie. How can this contractor, with an unusual share of controversies, including being delisted as DHSUD builder in 2023, be trusted to rebuild its own consistently collapsing project, which has evidently come with great cost and loss to the government. Paulit-ulit ang pag-repair, ngunit ganito pa rin ang kalagayan sa Candating, Arayat. Arayat ko po. Mr. President, magtungo naman tayo sa Hilagang Luzon, partikular sa probinsya ng La Union, kung saan matatagpuan ang Bawang River Basin, na kung saan matindi ang congressional insertions. Sa tulong ng mga concerned groups and individuals, napansin namin ang bilang ng flood control projects na bagamat wala sa National Expenditure Program noong 2024 ay biglang tumubong parang kabute sa General Appropriations Act ng nakaraang taon. Halimbawa, ang construction of flood control structure along Bawang River Basin. Dalawang items lamang na may tig 50 million pesos ang nakalaan sa bahagi ng Nagilian. Samantalang ang bayan ng Bawang ay wala pong proyekto sa National Expenditure Program. Abracadabra, sa naipasang 2024 General Appropriations Act, nagkaroon ng 10 items na nahahati mula Package 1 hanggang Package 10 na may tig 98 million pesos ang biglang umusbong para sa Nagilian. Sa kabuuan, ang 10 packages na ito ay umabot sa 967.4 million pesos. Halos 1 bilyong piso kumpara sa dalawang tig 50 million lamang sa 2024 NEP. Sa Bawang naman, 7 packages ang lumitaw na may magkakaparehong halaga, 89 million pesos each. Sa kabuuan, ito ay nagkakahalaga ng 623 million pesos mula zero budget sa NEP ng 2024. Sa aming masinsing pagkalkal ay natuklasan naming iisang kontraktor ang naawardan ng lahat ng packages na ito, ang Silver Wolves Construction Corporation. Distinct pa rin, distinguished colleagues. Ito ang nabanggit kong pork barrel insertions kanina, Mr. President. Meron pang mas matinding congressional insertions, ipapakita ko sa inyo. Baco at Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro. Aguila congressional insertions. Mr. President, when flood control projects fail to stand against the tides, we are compelled to question the feasibility of the project and the technical capacity of the contractor. But what if an elected congressman or a political group claims ownership of the project? Is it not both proper and necessary to scrutinize their motivations and examine the extent of their involvement, and perhaps to hold them responsible? This explains the logic why I am insisting to make transparent the identities of the proponents of the insertions, from the House GAB, Senate version, and all the way to the BICAM. If they claim something as theirs, should they not also be accountable for its failures? Mr. President, I raise the question because of the evident congressional banners we observe alongside many projects in Nauhan and Baco, both in Oriental Mindoro. Bilang halimbawa, in Barangay Burbuli, Baco, Oriental Mindoro, one banner reads, Congressional Project, Construction of Flood Control Structure along Barangay Burbuli, Alag River, Baco, Oriental Mindoro, Aguila, Aksyon, Gobyerno at Inisyatibo sa Larangang Lehislatura. This project, awarded to Silver Wolves Construction Corporation again, is worth 95 million pesos. It is an ongoing project to be completed in December 2025. This project is so important that it can turn stones and get funding approval under the unprogrammed appropriations of the 2024 national budget. This prompts us to dig deeper into the web. And as they say, social media is a great resource of evidence, which lawyers fondly call testimony against self-interest. In one Facebook post, we discovered a congressional representative showcasing his midterm accomplishment report covering the period from June 30, 2022 to December 31, 2023. He openly lists projects, hold your breath, funded by his office. I repeat, funded by his office, including flood control and river protection initiatives. From Aguilas Baco, let us travel to Aguilas Nauhan, also in Oriental Mindoro. Mr. President, Nauhan is among the beneficiaries of 3.6 billion pesos worth of projects, while Baco proudly lists 807 million, all of which is attributed to and owned up by the Office of the Congressman. Hindi lamang po ito ang maswerteng napondohan. Isa pa sa pinagmamalaki ng mapag-angking congressman ay ang flood control structure sa Butas River upstream, Barangay San Jose, Nauhan, Oriental, Mindoro. We took time to visit the project, Mr. President, which he referred to as a national project through congressional allocation. The project was awarded to Raymond Builders for 231 million pesos at hinugot pa rin ito sa unprogrammed funds. Dalawang projects na po ito ng Aguila na natuklasan naming mula sa unprogrammed funds, isa sa Barangay Burbuli at isa sa Barangay San Jose. Sa tagal ko na rin pong nagbubusisi ng pambansang budget, ang pagkakaalam ko po, masalimuot ang proseso ng paggamit ng unprogrammed appropriations under the Special Purpose Fund para mag-augment sa ilang items under the regular budget. Hindi po madaling ma-access ito. Dapat A, may excess revenue collections, or B, new revenue collections, or C, those arising from new tax or non-tax sources, or D, approved loans para sa foreign assisted projects. Mahaba din ang requirements dito, Mr. President. So, ano kaya ang taglay na agimat ni Congressman? What gives, Mr. President? Kung saan may multimillion projects, dumadapo ang Aguila. Pero lubog pa rin sa baha ang nadadapuan ng Aguila. Isa lamang po ito sa napakaraming banners at social media posts ng congressional insertions ng mga politiko na naglipana sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Mr. President, ituloy na po natin ang diskusyon tungkol sa aming mga obserbasyon sa lalawigan ng Oriental Mindoro. Without taking anything away from the good but suffering people of this province on the legitimacy of their needs due to its high flood susceptibility, I want to speak of the billions of appropriations for flood control projects poured into this province in Luzon's eastern flank. Mr. President, when someone gets the largest share of the pie, we naturally ask why, especially if such a price comes from the taxpayer's tab. In Oriental Mindoro, for example, we wonder why among its 14 municipalities, one town tops the bill. Sa pagsalo ng buhos ng pondo, nauna ang Nauhan. Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro received a sweeping 55% of the province's 2025 flood control budget. Katumbas ito ng 10 bilyong piso para sa flood control projects ng bayan ng Nauhan pa lamang. Fair enough, given the coastal topography and of the municipality, which includes its lowland plains and extensive river systems such as Mag-asawang Tubig, Nauhan, and its people badly need flood control interventions. However, the magnitude of its budget allocation in the last 3 years alone, amounting to approximately 19 billion pesos and nearly doubling each year, raises concerns regarding Nauhan's curious case. Even before the provincial governor of Oriental Mindoro blew the whistle, so to speak, on what he alleged as anomalous flood control projects, we had already dug deep in our study, literally sifting through years after years of appropriations for these projects. True to form and with due diligence, I immediately dispatched my staff to Oriental Mindoro to verify the data we gathered about Nauhan and to validate the governor's claims. Mindful of political bumps we may encounter, my directives are clear. We must see no political color and remain impartial in our findings. My staff traversed Oriental Mindoro across 10 barangays to randomly check flood control projects based on the list of awarded contracts from 2023 to 2025 that we obtained from the DPWH website. The field validation came in the aftermath of the widespread flooding in the province of Oriental Mindoro during the habagat. Una sa aming listahan ang Barangay Mulawin. Sa 70 barangay ng Nauhan, Oriental Mindoro, ang Barangay Mulawin ay nakakuha naman ng 1.9 billion pesos. Sino kaya ang makapangyarihang funder sa Barangay Mulawin? We scoured the budget books from the National Expenditure Program, the House GAB, Senate version, and GAA, as well as the DPWH awarded contracts in Barangay Mulawin. Of the 1.9 billion pesos fund for 8 flood control projects, only 810 million pesos for 3 projects was included in the President's budget or NEP. The remaining 1.1 billion was inserted, I repeat, was inserted in the House version, Mr. President. Rightly so. Most of these congressional insertions were tagged for issuance of SARO or withheld by Malacanang, save for the curious case of 2 projects worth about 300 million pesos already awarded and ongoing construction with target completion in December 2025. Mr. President, sa buhos ng budget sa barangay na ito, inaasahan natin na may proteksyon na ang mga residente ng Mulawin mula sa baha dulot ng bagyo. Sa kasamaang palad, habagat pa lang at hindi pa man naitalang bagyo ang tumama sa probinsya. Gumuhuna ang ilang parte ng mga diking pinaggastusan ng daang milyong piso. Inagos na rin ng tubig, baha, ang bilyong pisong danyos ng nasirang flood control. Ito mismo ang parehong barangay na gustong inspeksyonin sana ni Governor Dolor noong nakaraang Sabado lamang, kung saan napabalita ang pagharang sa kanya ng security personnel sapagkat ayon daw sa kontraktor ng proyekto, kinakailangan ng written approval mula sa DPWH bago makapasok ang sinuman sa construction area. Mabuti na lamang, napuntahan na rin po ng aking team ang di umano'y restricted area na ito noong unang linggo pa lamang ng Agosto. Actually pinagbawalan din ang aking staff na lumapit sa proyekto. Pero sapat na ang kuha ng aming drone upang makita ang mga depekto ng construction dito. Nahalatang gusto ng naturang kontraktor na isikreto dahil sa ginagawang paghahabol upang kumpunuhin at remedyohan ang palpak na proyekto at mapagtakpan ang kanilang kapalpakan. We are willing to submit our drone shots and other pieces of evidence to assist in the investigation and prosecution of those involved in these anomalous projects. Mula sa aming sariling footage, kitang-kita ang mga bahagi ng road dike na ginawa noong 2024 na gumuho. Ang nakikita niyong flood control project ay nagkakahalaga ng 204.8 million pesos na base sa official record ng DPWH ay completed project na nito lamang Pebrero 2025. Halos 3 buwan pa lamang ang lumipas, Mr. President. Gayunpaman, kabago-bagong proyekto, gumuho na agad ang dike dahil sa nakaraang bagyong Krising, Dante at Emong. Kasama ang lagpas 200 milyong pondo na inalaan dito. Sa kahabaan pa rin ng Bukayaw River, natagpuan naman namin ang isa sa mga congressional insertion na nagkakahalaga ng 137 million at inaasahang matatapos ngayong Disyembre. Kasabay ng hagupit ng habagat, inanod na rin ang malaking bahagi ng binubuong dike. We heard grim stories about why these structures fall easily. From the improper embankment mix of gravel, sand, and stones, sheet piles cut in half, and lower grade reinforcement steel bars. Tinipid, sinadyang minali, at shortcut ang pagkagawa. Sad reality, Mr. President, is mayroon na rin silang standard para sa substandard. We go to another top-billing barangay, Barangay Tagumpay. Barangay Tagumpay, still in Nauhan, is another case of flood control. Sa taong 2023 at 2024, halos abot kamay na ng mga taga-Barangay Tagumpay ang Tagumpay na layunin nitong maging ligtas sa mga pagbaha dahil sa halos 2.55 billion piso na pondong nilaan dito. Binubuo ito ng 10 proyekto sa paggawa ng road dike sa mag-asawang Tubig at Bukayaw River. Sa ulat ng gobernador na bineripika ng aking mga staff, ang mga bahagi ng bilyones na proyektong ito 2 beses na pong nasira ngayong taon. Ang pinakamalala nitong nakaraang bagyong Emong. Sa mga larawan o video nakuha ng aming team, kapansin-pansin nga naman na imbes na graba, buhangin at simento, buhangin ang laman ng structure na ito. Kaya naman, ayon din sa mga residente, sa sandaling magkabutas, mabilis na pumapasok ang tubig at kinakain ang ilalim. Sa aming pag-iimbestiga, hindi rin daw di umano masusunod o nasusunod ang dapat na lalim ng pagbabaon ng mga sheet piles na magiging suporta ng buong road dike. Isa pa sa nakita namin, ang Barangay Inarawan na dumanas rin ng pagguho ng bahagi ng river dike. Sa aming pagsisiyasat, isa ang barangay na ito sa pinakamaraming buhos ng proyekto noong 2023 at 2024. Tumabo po ito ng 1.764 billion piso para sa construction ng road dike sa kahabaan ng mag-asawang Tubig. Sa lahat ng proyektong nilaan sa Barangay Inarawan, tanging ang SunWest Incorporated ang nakakopo ng mga proyekto. Ito ang kontraktor na una na nating narinig sa ulat ng Pangulo bilang pang-8 sa mga kontratistang nakakuha ng pinakamarami at pinakamalaking kontrata sa flood control. Mr. President, sinuyod din namin ang ilang pang-barangay na binuhusan ng pondo, ngunit hindi pa rin nakaligtas sa daluyong ng pagbaha dahil sa karamihan ay substandard, gumuho at hindi napanindigan ang pagiging flood control structure. Ilan sa mga ito ang mga sumusunod na ipapakita natin. Sa Barangay Pinagsabangan 2, higit 228 million piso ang pondong nilaan, pero ang reklamo ng mga residente, putol-putol ang pagkagawa ng river control. Malaking bahagi rin ito ang gumuho ng nagdaang habagat. Sa Barangay Melgar, nirereklamo ng mga residente ang mababaw na pagkakabaon ng mga bakal sa ginagawang dike. Sa taong ito, 3 coastal road shore protection ang itinatayo na ang suma total ay papalo sa halos 693 milyong piso. Sa Barangay Arangin, mayroon ding ongoing projects na nagkakahalaga ng 109 million. Ngunit hindi pa man tapos ay nasira na ulit dahil sa habagat. Mr. President, for 3 years, 19 billion na pondo ang ibinuhos para sa flood control sa Nauhan. Umaapaw ang pondo pero lubog pa rin sa baha ang mga Nauhenyo. Ano nangyari, Mr. President? Kaninong mga bulsa inanod ang buwis ng taong bayan? Kung sa Oriental Mindoro gumuguho ang mga proyekto, mamaya po, Mr. President, ipapakita namin ang mga lugar naman na walang makikitang gumuguho. Hindi dahil sa matitibay ang paggagawa, kundi dahil hindi talaga maaaring gumuho ang guni-guni o ghost projects. Mr. President, sa Kalapit Barangay, sa Barangay Apitong, isa sa mga proyektong matyagang hinanap ng aking team ay ang construction of road dike along mag-asawang Tubig River, Sitio Dike, Barangay Apitong, Section, Nauhan, Oriental, Mindoro, na na-award sa elite General Contractor and Development Corporation. Ang halaga ng kontrata, 192.99 million pesos. Ayon sa dokumentong ito, mula sa DPWH website, completed na po ito. Ngunit, nang puntahan ng aking team, wala po silang nakitang proyekto sa Sitio Dique. Ayon din po sa pahayag ng mga residente, wala pong flood control na ginawa noong nakaraang taon sa kanilang sitio. Ang alam lang nila, mayroong gagawin pa lamang ngayong 2025. Nasaan ang halos 193 million na pondo sa Sitio Dique noong 2024? Eksakto ang lokasyon na aming pinuntahan sapagkat consistent ito sa coordinates na nakalathala sa DPWH at sa sumbong sa Pangulo website. Guni-guni o guni-guni? Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, tuloy-tuloy na po tayo sa usapang guni-guni sa mga proyekto sa lalawigan ng Bulacan. Nasabi ko nga kanina ay ang pinaka-notorious sa aming mga case studies na sa ulat na rin ng mga taga DPWH officials at insiders at ilang contractors ay minumulto ng humigit kumulang 30 guni-guning proyekto. Una sa aming pinuntahan, ang siyudad ng Malolos, kung saan kitang-kita ang labis na pagbaha sa kabila ng una ng napaulat na buhos ng pondo sa probinsya. Isa sa aming binisitang proyekto ng aking team sa Barangay Calero ay ang construction of riverbank protection na may kontratang nagkakahalaga ng 77 million pesos. Ang kontraktor nito, base sa record, ay Wawaw Builders at tag as completed as of October 2024. Gamit ang coordinates sa sumbong sa Pangulo website, madali naming natunton ang lokasyon ng proyekto. Inabutan po namin ang flood control structure na ayon sa mga residente ay sinimulang gawin ngayong taon, 2025 lamang. Ibig sabihin po, ang pondo nito ay nasa taong 2025, hindi 2024. Sigurado kami sapagkat iba ang contract ID nito base sa DPWH billboard na inyong nakikita sa screen. Kinumpirma din po ng mga residente na walang flood control project na ginawa sa lugar noong 2024. Ang malaking tanong, ano ang riverbank protection structure na pinondohan at sinasabing completed dito? Ito po bang nakikita nating puting pader sa screen? Pader nga po yan, Mr. President. Perimeter fence ng subdivision. Mr. President, sari-saring gimmick, makapandaya lang ng milyones sa kaban ng bayan. Magtungo tayo sa susunod na barangay, Mr. President. Lula ng bangka, binagtas ng aking mga staff ang barangay Babatnin upang hanapin ang riverbank protective structure na pinondohan noong 2024. Ito ay nagkakahalaga ng 77 million pesos ulit na nakuha naman ng Darcy and Ana Builders. Mayroong flood control project na kumpirmado rin sa mga online videos na nahanap namin. Ang siste, hindi po ito ginawa noong 2024. 2018 pa po, Mr. President. Pinondohan din ito noong 2021, 2023, at 2024. Ayon sa mga residente, ang huling pagsasaayos dito ay nangyari noong 2023 na substandard din ang pagkakagawa. So, kanino napunta ang inilagak na pondo sa ilalim ng 2024 national budget para sa proyekto na ito? Paulit-ulit ang pagpopondo kahit gawa na. Bagong style ito, Mr. President. Ilan pa kayang flood control projects ang ganito? Ang contractor nito na Darcy and Ana Builders. Nagmimistulang multo rin. Bakit kanyo? Base sa mga dokumento ng kumpanyang ito. Ito ay isang negosyo na rehistrado sa ilalim ng sole proprietorship at may address sa Cardona, Rizal. Sa pamamagitan ng simpleng pag-search sa Google Map, ay madaling makita ang gusali kung nasaan ang nasabing negosyo. Subalit, nang puntahan ng aking team ang address, ang kanilang inabutan ay gym at e-payment store sa halip na construction company. Wala na rin ang signage ng Darcy and Ana Builders sa dating nakakabit sa building. Maya-maya, ipapakita pa namin ang mga natuklasan naming proyekto na gawa o dapat ginawa ng nawawalang Darcy and Ana Builders. Sinuyod din po natin ang ilang barangay sa Hagonoy, Bulacan, na hanggang ngayon ay lubog pa rin sa tubig baha, Mr. President. Gamit ulit ang sumbong sa Pangulo website, hinugot namin ang exact grade coordinates ng proyektong aming nakita para tiyakin na sakto ang lokasyon kung saan tayo napadpad. Mr. President, the first subject project was in Barangay Carillo, Hagonoy, Bulacan. Supposedly completed on April 19, 2024. It was awarded to Darcy and Ana Builders and Trading for a sweeping price tag of 77.199 million pesos na naman. Mr. President, gusto po ba ninyo makita ang itsura ng isang 77.199 million pesos worth na riverbank protection structure? Tingnan po natin. Nasaan na nga ba? Ewan ko, Mr. President, dahil wala tayong makita. Kahit ano pang suyod ang gawin namin, hindi namin makita o mahagilap ang flood control project ng Darcy and Ana Builders. Hello, Darcy. Ang Ana and Ana, nasaan ng flood control? Tumawid naman tayo sa Barangay Abulalas, sa bayan pa rin ng Hagonoy. Silipin natin ang Tatak Darcy and Ana Builders Flood Control Project. Sinuong ng aking team ang baha sa Barangay Abulalas, Hagonoy para hanapin ang proyektong Construction of Riverbank Protection Structure mula sa Darcy and Ana na nagkakahalaga ng 77.199 million pesos na naman. Ito po ang tumambad sa amin, Mr. President. Nakikita niyo po ba ang pagkakatayo ng flood control structure? Hindi niyo po talaga makikita, my dear colleagues. Guni-guni lang kasi ang flood control structure o riverbank protection kung saan dapat nakatayo ang Darcy and Ana project. Iba rin ang kaso sa Barangay Iba. Tinungo namin ang proyekto Riverbank Protection Structure sa Barangay Iba ng Wawaw Builders na natapos na dapat noong Oktubre 2024. Ang presyo ng proyekto, 77.199 million pesos na naman. Pagdating ng aming team sa exact coordinates, mayroong kasalukuyang tinatayong istruktura. Ang bonus, may kasama pang pumping station. Pero ang ginagawang proyekto, hindi ang Wawaw project. Sa mismong lokasyon kung saan dapat nakatayo ang Wawaw Riverbank Protection, ang nakabalandrang contract ID ay ang ongoing project ng isang First Star Builders Contractors para sa flood mitigation structure with pumping station and floodgate na ang presyo ay papalo sa 92.54 million pesos. Mr. President, nawawala ang Wawaw project at mukhang gusto pang pagtakpan ang ghost project na ito, kaya nagmamadaling magtayo ng bagong struktura sa eksaktong project location kung saan dapat matagal nang may flood control. Wawaw ang binisita, First Star ang dinatnan. Wawaw ang hinanap, First Star ang natagpuan. Mukhang ang modus na ito tatapalan ang ghost project ng ibang proyekto. At ang masama, na walang parang bula ang milyong-milyong gastos mula na naman sa taong bayan. Sa Barangay San Nicolas naman, iba ang forma at hulma ng ghost project. Binisita namin ang proyekto ng Wawaw Builders na ang halaga ay 77.199 million pesos na naman ang nasabing proyekto. Sinimulan daw noong Pebrero at natapos noong Disyembre 2023. Pero sa aming pagsisiyasat, 2017 pa lamang ay mayroon ng flood control sa lokasyong tinuro kung nasaan ang Wawaw project. Makikita rin sa historical imagery ng lugar na walang nabago simula pa noong 2017. So, anong tinayo ng Wawaw Builders noong 2023? Eh di wala. May guni-guni na naman sa barangay San Nicolas. Wow na wow ang Wawaw. Mr. President, makikita natin ang iisang pattern ng mga proyektong guni-guni ng Darcy and Ana at Wawaw Builders sa Barangay Carillo, Abulalas, Iba, at San Nicolas, First Engineering District ng Bulacan. Pare-parehong contract price, 77.199 million pesos. Pare-parehong riverbank protection structure, pare-parehong guni-guni. Very distinctly ghost projects. Ang mga taong nasa likod ng scheme na ito or scam na ito ang dapat ipinampupukpok sa pagbabaon ng mga sheet piles. Hindi ito kababalagan, Mr. President. This is well orchestrated by an organized network of people who abuse their power. May isang grupo sa loob ng First District Engineering Office ng Bulacan na kilalang sindikato ng mga substandard at ghost projects. Ang kanilang modus, manghihiram ng lisensya sa mga suki nilang contractors. Gamit ang lisensya ng contractors, sila na ang mag-implement ng proyekto. O kung hindi man, magpoproseso ng mga dokumento para lumabas na completed na ang mga ghost projects. My office is willing and ready to provide the names of the members of this well-organized syndicate inside the Bulacan First District Engineering Office, including probable witnesses to testify against them if and when the appropriate authorities will open a formal investigation into these morally wicked schemes to defraud our people of their hard-earned taxpayers' money. For the information of the body, inikot at siniyasat din po namin ang ilang mga proyekto sa Kabikulan, Davao Peninsula, Western Visayas at Central Mindanao. Kasalukuyang ginagawa pa ang validation ng aming findings para sa mga susunod na investigasyon. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, we all heard President Marcos Jr. in his rare, exasperated, confrontational tone during his fourth SONA last July 28. Pinalakpakan natin siya ng malakas nang sabihin niya sa ating harap-harapan sa plenaryo ng Batasang Pambansa, mahiya naman kayo. And rightly so, since he also said in the same SONA that he witnessed firsthand how the floodgates of corruption have swung wide open in many areas he personally inspected. He saw defective flood control projects, obviously built with substandard materials or not built at all, wasting hundreds of billions of pesos in taxpayers' money drifted away and down the drain. And all this, Mr. President, went straight to the pockets of the insatiably greedy, so vile, so greedy, and corrupt to the core politicians, DPWH officials, and contractors, conniving among themselves, unmindful of the lives lost and the properties destroyed, all for their lust for money. This humble representation just confirmed with sordid details what President Marcos announced in the launching of the Sumbong sa Pangulo website, which greatly helped us in tracking and monitoring the status of the non-existing but fully paid flood control projects. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we can do our part in leading the way under your leadership and the cooperation that each and every one of us in this august whole to set the example in good governance. We can start with an honest-to-goodness and fully transparent deliberation of the 2026 National Budget Measure that will truly represent the hopes and aspirations of our people for a better Philippines. Sa isang taon, wag naman sana nating marinig na mapagsabihan tayo na mga walang hiya kayo. Sa haba at lawak ng aming pagsisiyasat, may mga gustong magsalita at tumulong. District engineers na napipilitang ipa-implement ang mga binagsak na project sa kanilang distrito na hindi naman sila ang nagplano kaya hindi naisama sa National Expenditure Program. Subalit, dahil nagmula sa mga insertions ng mga tinaguriang funders sa Kongreso, mga contractors na kapit sa patalim dahil sa bulok na sistema ng talamak na lagayan, tali ang mga kamay dahil sa kanilang pakikisama na kasalalay ang kanilang hanap buhay. At higit sa lahat, mga taong bayan na nais ipaabot ang kanilang hinaing. Madami din sa mga nakausap namin ang handang pangalanan ang mga tiwaling opisyal ng gobyerno na tunay na nasa likod ng mga milagro sa flood control. Ang halos nagkakaisang tanong nila na mahirap kong saguting mag-isa. Sagot ba ninyo ang kaligtasan namin at sigurado bang tuloy-tuloy ang laban hanggang sa dulo o habang mainit lamang ang issue na ito? When few good officials or regretful men are willing to speak truth to power, they must be heard, they must be seen, they must be protected. The depth of corruption has become so overwhelming that it drowns us in our sad reality. More than flood control, what the Filipino people badly need to see is grid control. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Lacson.
Mr. President,
Majority Leader.
Mr. President, there are a number of our colleagues who wanted to make a manifestation. May I just be allowed to give a very short manifestation considering, Mr. President, the situation where I come from, Mr. President. I hope you understand.
Yes, please
the
proceed,
indulgence of our colleagues.
Please proceed, Majority Leader.
Mr. President, this will be just very short. I just wanted to put on record, Mr. President, na nakapanlulumo, nakakagalit at nakakakulo ng dugo, Mr. President, na marinig at makita right before our very eyes yung pong mga hindi ko kayang sabihin na malademonyong proyekto dahil sabi nga ho ni Senator Lacson, guni-guni hindi na makita. Siguro ito po yung dahilan kung bakit for the past 3 years siguro naiintindihan na ako ni Senator Bato, ni Senator JV, the past 3 years, bakit ako nang gagalaite? 3 taon ko na po itong sinasabi, itong mga kalokohan sa flood control program. Mr. President, ginahasa po ng flood control program ng gobyerno ang aming lalawigan sa Bulacan. Nakakalungkot po, Mr. President, sapagkat pag tinignan nyo rin po itong 2025 flood control budget, Mr. President, yung binabanggit po ni Senator Ping na pare-pareho po yung amount, ganito pa rin po. Total of 14 billion sa lalawigan ng Bulacan. Mr. President, nandito po yung ilang mga mayors natin. Nandito po si Mayor Bong, si Mayor ng Balagtas, Mayor ng San Miguel, Bulacan. Nandito po sila para suportahan ang Senado, para magkaroon ng no nonsense, no secret cows, Mr. President, na investigasyon at masiguro na magkaroon ng hustisya ang aming minamahal na lalawigan. Mr. President, gusto ko lang pong i-put into the record that we thank the gentleman from Cavite, Mr. President. We have been looking forward to seeing him here in the Senate dahil alam natin, Mr. President, may mangyayari na dito sa ating ginagawang investigasyon at mapapanagot ang dapat mapanagot. And again, I appeal to the members of this August Chamber to help not only our great province of Bulacan but also all provinces in the Philippines. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Pangulo. May I give the floor to our Minority Leader who is seeking the floor, Mr. President.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Before I recognize the Minority Leader, the Chair would also like to thank Senator Lacson for his bombastic privilege speech and congratulate him. Congratulations, Senator Lacson. Minority
Yes.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Aside from congratulating and commending Senator Ping Lacson, I was discussing this with him earlier. We indeed commend him because he's under the weather. He's not actually well, but he came over to deliver his privilege speech, although his doctors told him to rest and not to go to work today. But still, he did. No, you see the importance of what he has to deliver. So. I know for a fact that Senator Lacson has never been known to evade any interpellations. But because of health reasons, I would like to move that all the interpellations forthcoming on this privilege speech be done in our next regular session, Mr.
Will
President.
be on Tuesday. Yeah. Yes, Mr. President.
What does the Majority Leader say?
We are in full understanding, Mr. President, of our good colleague who is more than willing to entertain questions, Mr. President. We all know that. And he's more than willing to entertain questions, Mr. President, by Tuesday, Mr. President, when we resume session. Mr. President, there are a number of senators who would like to make a short manifestation. May I move that we recognize the gentleman from Tarlac, Senator Bam Aquino, Mr. President.
The gentleman from Tarlac, Senator Bam Aquino, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unang-una po sa lahat, nais kong magpasalamat kay Senator Lacson sa kanyang presentation at alam ho natin na napakahalaga ng issue na ito na malaman ho natin kung saan napupunta yung pondo sa flood control at nakikita naman po natin na bilyong-bilyong piso na ang nawawala na dapat napupunta sa taong bayan. So Mr. President, upon the suggestion of the Minority Floor Leader, I will hold off my interpellations for the next session and instead just manifest my support and congratulations to the good gentleman from Cavite. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Aquino.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next to make a short manifestation is the gentleman from Palawan, Senator Erwin Tulfo. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
Senator Erwin Tulfo, the gentleman from Palawan, is recognized.
Mr. President, this representation fully supports Senator Ping Lacson's call to demand full accountability for the disturbing anomalies in our flood control projects. Kahapon lamang po sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee na pinamunuan ni Senator Marcoleta na siwalat ang sandamakmak na ghost flood control projects. Kawalan ng master plan at pagpabor sa ilang mga probinsya, gayong hindi naman po kasama sa listahan ng mga flood-prone areas. Nakakapanlumo dahil sa kabila ng bilyon-bilyong pondong inilaan sa flood control projects na ito ay marami pa rin sa ating kababayan ang nalulubog sa baha. Sa DPWH pa lamang po ay meron na tayong inilaang halos 996.5 billion pesos o halos 1 trilyon, Mr. President. Ito ay mula sa GAA sa ilalim ng Flood Management Program. Hindi pa po kasama rito ang budget na inilaan sa DNR, MMDA at iba pang mga ahensya para rin sa pagkontrol ng baha. Uulitin ko po, this is nothing less than a grand robbery of our nation. It is for this reason, Mr. President, that I also filed Senate Resolution number 31, which seeks to investigate reported abuse of flood control programs and related projects. Senate Resolution number 70, which seeks to investigate illegal construction of structures and waterways in Palawan, and Senate Bill number 769, which seeks to institutionalize Metro Manila Drainage Master Plan as a long-term strategy for drainage infrastructure development. Mr. President, harap-harapan na pong niyanakawan ang taong bayan dahil sa kakulangan ng pananagutan. Our people deserve no less than truth, transparency, and justice. Huwag na po nating hintayin na lumubog ulit ang bayan bago tayo kumilos. Let's build a Philippines that doesn't just survive the floods, but rises above it. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. Majority Leader.
President, next to make a short manifestation is our Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Risa Ontiveros. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
The Deputy Minority Leader, Senator Risa Ontiveros, recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Mr. President, I applaud the sponsors' courage in bringing to light these harrowing and urgent issues of large-scale corruption. Kaisa niyo po ako sa labang ito, Senator Ping. May nabasa po ako sa Facebook, Mr. President. The Philippines is not poor. We are plundered. I could not agree more. Ang Pilipinas po ay hindi isang mahirap na bansa. Biktima lang tayo ng kalat at sistematikong pagnanakaw. Dahil sa korupsyon, ng kaunti, patuloy na naghihirap ang karamihan. Sa estimasyon mismo ng gobyerno, nasa 20% o 1/5 ng kabuoang budget ng bansa ang nawawala taon-taon sa korupsyon. Katumbas po yan ng tinatansyang 1.6 trillion pesos na ninanakaw mula sa mga Pilipino kada taon. 1.6 trillion. Kahit ako po ay nahirapang maintindihan kung gaano kalaking pera yan. Chineko po, at sa 1.6 trillion pesos, pwede na tayong mamigay ng tig-1 milyong piso sa 1.6 milyon na tao. Nakakalula po. Lahat na yan habang nalulunod na ang mga karaniwang Pilipino. Nalulunod sa taas ng presyo ng bilihin, sa trabahong hindi sapat ang kita, sa kalamidad at sa kawalan ng tugon at serbisyo publiko. Mayorya po ng mga Pilipino ay kumakayod ng tapat at nakikipagsapalaran ng patas. Insulto po na ang buwis na kinakaltas at dapat ginagamit para sa kanila ay inaanod lang sa baha ng korupsyon. Hirap na nga ang Pilipino, ninanakawan pa. Kung ang karaniwang Pilipino po ang magnakaw, kulong agad at pwedeng masira na ang buhay. Pero ang pagnanakaw ng mga opisyal sa pamamagitan ng korupsyon, parti-parti lang po, parang parti na po ng buhay na tanggap ng lahat. Hindi ko po yan matatanggap. At makakaasa po si Senator Lacson sa pag-usisa sa isyung ito. Salamat po, Senator Ping. Mabuhay po kayo at pagaling po kayo ng lubos. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Maraming salamat, Senadora Hontiveros.
Yes, Mr. President. Senator Pia Cayetana is also seeking the floor. May I move that she be recognized, Mr. President?
The gentlelady from Taguig, Senator Pia Cayetana, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a short manifestation. Sa Tuesday pala magpapatuloy ang ating debates. Mag-i-interpellate din po tayo. I just want to join our colleagues in expressing my disgust and I am at a loss for words sa napakasamang sitwasyon na binunyag ni Senator Ping Lacson. Papasalamat tayo sa kanya na pinakita niya to and in very very detailed ang kanyang presentation. Ako po ay taga Tubong Bulacan din, kaya si Senator Joel, I attest to the fact na bagyo-bagyo na lang, hindi ko sasabihin taon-taon kasi kung ilang beses tayo daanan ng bagyo, ilang beses din siya tatayo at mag-e-express ng lungkot, galit sa walang katapusan na bagyo, tapos panay ang punta niya dyan na walang katapusang pagre-relief efforts, na samantalang pala itong mga relief efforts natin hindi na pala kailangan gawin kung nagawa lang ito ng maayos. I personally am shocked that pwedeng mangyari yung gano'n na paulit-ulit lang na pinupondohan ang Ghost Project, o di naman kaya paulit-ulit na binabalikan lang ang proyektong sobrang substandard. Tapos yung pala yung sabi nga ni Senator Ping, may standard na ang substandard. We owe the Filipino people better. Lahat ho tayo, we have, now that napakita ito, siguro tuloy-tuloy na ang paglalabas ng mga contractors na sangkot dyan. Hindi ho ako involved sa hindi ho ako familiar din sa budget ng DPWH, pero I am familiar with the projects sa education at saka sa health. At kahit doon po, paulit-ulit naming sinasabi sa mga state universities, pati sa mga DOH officials, na pagka yung contractor hindi nakaka-deliver, huwag nyo nang ulitin, huwag nyo nang i-delist nyo na yan. Kaya yung pinakita kanina na yung pangalan ng contractor, delisted na siya, pero nabigyan pa rin ng project. Paano ba nangyayari yung mga ganon? Definitely, ibig sabihin, may kasangkot na government official, whether sa level ng lokal or sa level ng national. Kaya sa darating na mga araw na iimbestigahan pa rin ito at magkakaroon pa ho tayo ng debate, sana mas mabigyan ng liwanag because the Filipino people do not deserve this kind of public service from their officials. Thank you very much, Senator Ping Lacson, for bringing this to our attention.
Thank you, Senator Pia Cayetano, Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, the gentleman from Pampanga who's also affected by flooding, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, is also seeking the floor. May I move that he be recognized, Mr. President?
Senator Kiko Pangilinan is recognized.
Maraming salamat sa ating karatig lalawigan ng Bulacan, kinatawan ng Bulacan. Sa Pampanga, totoo po yun. Itong nakaraang bagyo, matapos yung pagbabaha, 16 sa 18 mga barangay sa hometown ng aking tatang, my father, lubog. Pati ang mga bayan ng Pampanga, lubog din. At nakakagalit nga itong naging expose ni Senator Ping Lacson. We laud him for his consistency in with a fine-tooth comb binubusisi yung ating budget, yung General Appropriations Measure. Mr. President, actually, baka maaring sagutin next week pag magaling na po si Senator Lacson dito sa aking simpleng katanungan. Sa ganitong katinding trilyong pisong halaga ng pagnanakaw sa gobyerno sa ilalim ng public works, ang magiging tanong ko sa Martes sa privilege speech ni Senator Lacson ay, bakit hindi pa nagre-resign yung Secretary ng Public Works? Yun lang po. At naway maisagot sana ng maayos. Kung hindi man ni Senator Lacson, baka dapat yung Secretary of Public Works ang sumagot. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan.
Mr. President, next to give her manifestation is the distinguished lady from Antique, Senator Lauren Legarda. I move that she be recognized, Mr. President.
The gentle lady from Antique is recognized, Senator Legarda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise today in support of the privileged speech of our esteemed colleague, Senator Ping Lacson, and I echo his outrage at the corruption that continues to stain our flood control programs and many other public projects. Billions and possibly trillions of pesos are lost, substandard works are delivered, and yet year after year the floods still come washing away homes, dreams, and lives. That is why we support this long-term approaches, and there is a proposed tapat na paglilingkod pending measure which does not only punish wrongdoing but seeks to prevent it by embedding strategies that promote integrity in planning, budgeting, and service delivery, by protecting whistleblowers, by making agencies map their own corruption risks, and by teaching integrity as early as our schools. This is a long manifestation, Mr. President. May I request that the whole manifestation of 6 pages be inserted into the record. I would like to commend our esteemed colleague despite his being under the weather. And yes, we must investigate, we must prosecute, but alongside we must also nurture a culture of tapat na paglilingkod so that the next generation will not even think twice about choosing honesty. We congratulate Senator Ping Lacson. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Legarda, Majority Leader.
Mr. President, next to give his manifestation is the gentleman from Bukidnon, our former Senate President, Mig Zubiri. I move that he be recognized, Mr. President.
The gentleman from Bukidnon is recognized, Senator Zubiri.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you to the Majority Leader. Mr. President, nakakalula talaga yung speech ng ating kasamahan na si Senator Lacson. I'd like to congratulate him for his very thorough investigation of the case. Biro mo, may isang bayan, Mr. President, na nakatanggap ng 3.2 billion worth of projects, particularly flood control in Oriental Mindoro. Kinumpute ko po yan, Mr. President, at 3 million lang per classroom. That is 1,066 classrooms. Baka yung backlog ng buong Mindoro na fund na po sa DepEd kung hindi bigay po natin itong pondo para sa classroom building program at wala na pong backlog ang Mindoro, Oriental Mindoro. Kung dyan na lang po natin na ilagay kaysa sa mga flood control projects na nakikita naman po natin substandard, nagko-collapse at mukhang money-making racket lamang po, Mr. President. Mr. President, I laud our distinguished colleague, Senator Lacson, for this speech, but I'm hoping that he can give a part 2. Kasi po, kulang pa po yun. For example, kung saan pong home video ng aking nanay sa Bicol, marami din pong ghost project sa Bicol, maraming palpak na project sa Bicol, lalo na sa home province of my mother in Albay. I was there last year distributing rice to my kababayans in Libon, where my mom is from, and we also delivered to the provincial capital. At that time, yung tanong po ng mga reporters sa akin, anong maitutulong nyo sa mga problema naming baha dito sa Bicol? At alam ko na po nung panahon pa na yun na napakalaki na ang natatanggap nila pero wala pa rin nangyayari. So sana may part 2 po niyan at may labas din po natin yung mga kapalpakan nito mga contractors also in the Bicol region and other parts of the Philippines where we can see these discrepancies, Mr. President. So once again, maraming salamat kay Senator Lacson, but we're still hoping that the Blue Ribbon Committee can go down even further in naming the proponents of these projects. Kailangan natin malaman. Yung mahirap po kasi, hindi ko po alam sa House kung may lalabas ba nila yung proponents. Dito sa Senado, ilabas natin ang proponents ng mga projects na to. Pati down sa House, sana mailabas din nila. And I laud Congressman Toby Chanco for trying to come out with that list of proponents in the House. I congratulate him as well and I wish him luck. Maraming salamat, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Zubiri. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, I would just like to join the statements made by our former Senate President, Senator Migs Zubiri. Mr. President, ilalagay ko uli sa talaan ng bulwagang ito. Noong 2023, 1.079 billion pesos a day ang budget ng DPWH alone. 2024, 1.342 billion pesos a day ang budget ng DPWH alone. Ngayong taon po na ito, 2025, 1.37 billion a day ang budget ng DPWH. Ngayon po, dun sa National Expenditure Program na pinrepresenta sa atin ngayon ng 2026, 1.08 billion pesos a day ang budget ng, again, Mr. President, DPWH alone. Mr. President, bago ko po isuspend ang konsiderasyon ng privilege speech ni Senator Ping Lacson, muli pinapasalamatan po natin siya at yung pong binabanggit niya na pare-parehong amount na sa ibang probinsya, ganun din po yung nakita namin doon sa probinsya ng Bulacan for this year. And maikling ikwento ko lang, Mr. President, alam nyo yung pinakikita doon sa Hagunoy, yun po yung taon-taon na pinupuntahan natin halos every time na merong bagyo at nakikita po natin doon, Ginoong Pangulo, yung mga kababayan ko po doon sa Hagunoy at Senate President Pro Temp, I'm sure you're very much aware of Hagunoy dahil marami po kayong kaibigan doon. Tinatali po nila, Mr. President, yung kanilang sasakyan. Fortuner man yan o pick-up, itatali po nila, Mr. President, doon po sa poste. At matutulog sila, yung sasakyan po nila, umaalon-alon, Mr. President. Gigising po sila ng umaga. At ito, natural na buhay ng mga kababayan ko doon. Gigising po sila ng umaga, lulusong sa baha, magkakape. Pagkatapos magkape, maliligo. Tapos pupunta ho ng Maynila para magtrabaho. Alas 3, alas 4 ng umaga. Babalik ho, galing sa trabaho, ganun na naman, Mr. President. Tapos mababalitaan po nila itong mga nangyayaring guni-guni projects at mga palpak na proyekto. Mr. President, I think nasa atin po na may magagawa po tayo bilang Senado ng Republika ng Pilipinas. I pray, Mr. President, na huwag nating biguin yung ating mga kababayan dahil sa totoo lang, Mr. President, 3 years ago, binanggit ko na po dito sa bulwagan na ito na yung mga kababayan po namin, wala nang inaasahan eh. In fact, kahit pagkausapin nyo po, sasabihin sa inyo, wala na. Hindi nyo naman magagawa yan. So sana po, malaking challenge po sa atin, lalo na dito sa Senado, itong problemang ito. Mr. President, may pahabol po ang ating mga kasamahan. We recognize Senator Bongo and then afterwards, Senator Robin Hood Padilla, who wanted to make a manifestation as well, Mr. President. Please.
Senator Bongo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I join Senator Ping Lacson in condemning the irregularities in the allocation and implementation of flood control projects. Mr. President, as manifested yesterday in the Blue Ribbon hearing, hindi po katanggap-tanggap na habang tumataas ang budget para sa flood control, pataas rin ang pataas ang pagbaha. Sabi ko nga kahapon, bakit hindi nyo lang po ilaan ang budget para sa health katulad sa pag-upgrade ng mga hospital ng PGH na madalas rin pong binabaha. Nakita natin sa video kahapon o sa picture na binabaha. Dapat doon na lang po paglaanan ng pondo at sa DPWH na meron po silang 880 billion kumpara po sa health budget. More than 1/3 lang po ang pondo ng health kumpara sa DPWH. Bakit hindi na lang po ilaan ng pondo para sa ating mga healthcare workers na marami pa pong hindi nababayaran ang health emergency allowances? Ano bang mas importante sa inyo? Serbisyo na pinaghirapan, services rendered, o mga proyektong ginagawang gatasan? Natanong ko nga ito kanina sa health hearing sa mga unprogrammed appropriations, baka pwede nyo naman pong unahin na lang pondohan itong mga HEA na obligasyon po ng ating gobyerno. In light of recent events, President Marcos Jr. has launched an investigation on the implementation of flood control projects in the past years. Sa mga inireport ng Pangulo, malinaw na may anomalya dito, malinaw na may systematic na ang modus dito mula sa pag-identify ng mga proyekto hanggang sa pagpondo ng mga ito at pag-implementa ng mga proyekto. Mr. President, sa totoo lang po, noon pa lang, 2023, August 9, hiningi na natin sa DPWH ang kanilang accomplishment report, master plan at strategic prioritization sa kanilang mga flood control projects. During the hearing, tinanong ko mismo kay Secretary Bonoan na bakit may mga flood control na pinaglagyan ng proyekto na wala namang tao, wala namang kinokontrol o pinoprotektahang tao, wala namang kinokontrol na baha. Pero doon po nakalagay sa mga liblib na lugar. That was August of 2023. Mr. President, allow me also to take this opportunity to clarify and answer malicious reports, no? Kasi ako po, wala pa ako sa mundong ito. Yung aking pamilya may negosyo na po. And the insinuation that I was personally involved and had benefited in some projects, Mr. President, these are all recycled and malicious accusations. Noong 2018 pa po ito, nabalik na naman ng 2021 habang papunta po sa eleksyon. Ulitin ko po, for the record, wala po ako sa mundong ito. Meron na pong negosyo ang aking pamilya. Pero ni minsan po, ni piso, hindi nakinabang ang aking pamilya sa pagiging taong gobyerno ko. In fact, hindi po nakakalapit ang aking mga kamag-anak kahit nasa Malacanang kami noon. Hindi po sila nakakalapit. At isang naging kondisyon ko noon, mayor pa po si former President, former Mayor Duterte, na kung lalapit po ang aking kamag-anak, ay ako po ang magre-resign sa kanya. I observed delikadesa at yun lang po ang puhunan ko sa mundong ito, ang aking pangalan. At alam nyo naman po, uso po yung name dropping, yung ibang mga kamag-anak natin, yun pa ang nagpapa-VIP, yun pa ang nagpapa-importante. At sa tinatagal-tagal ko na pong paninilbihan sa gobyerno, isa lang po ang may pagmamalaki ko. I observed delikadesa, yan po ang ginagawa namin noon pa hanggang ngayon. I am a senator, a legislator. Wala po akong kinalaman sa implementasyon ng kahit na anong proyekto, lalong-lalo na po sa pag-identify at na makikinabang po ang aking pamilya. At ngayon, I also co-authored Senate Bill number 783. Ang panukalang ito ay layong ipagbawal na pumasok sa anumang kontrata ng gobyerno mula sa national level hanggang sa LGU level. Ang mga kamag-anak ng government officials hanggang sa 4th civil degree of consanguinity and affinity ay dapat po bawal po. Mr. President, sa laki po ng pondong pinag-uusapan dito, hindi po sapat ang audit o reporting sa mga ginagawang flood control projects. Hindi sapat ang explanation mula sa mga kontraktor o DPWH. Dapat po'y merong managot dito at dapat po'y maging accountable po sila. Dapat may managot po sa perwisyong patuloy na dulot ng pagbaha na dapat sana noon pa nasolusyonan. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Bongo. Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, may I move that we suspend consideration of the privileged speech of Senator Ping Lacson. So moved, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we proceed with the additional reference of business.
Mr. Secretary, please read the additional reference of business.
Additional reference of business, bills on first reading, Senate number 751, recognizing motorcycles as public utility. Vehicles amending RA 4136, the Land Transportation and Traffic Code as amended, and RA 7160, the Local Government Code of 1991 as amended, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Public Services and Local Government.
752, amending PD 194, authorizing aliens as well as associations, corporations, or partnerships owned in whole or in part by foreigners to engage in the rice and corn industry and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, and Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship.
753, an act to promote reforestation and to increase wood production through the establishment of tree growing agreements, Senator Marcos.
Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change, Ways and Means, and Finance.
754, providing for the modernization and capability enhancement of the Philippine National Police, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Public Order, Dangerous Drugs, Ways and Means, and Finance.
755, modernizing the Bureau of Immigration, defining its powers and functions, expanding, rationalizing, and further professionalizing its organization, upgrading the compensation and benefits of its officials and employees, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Justice and Human Rights, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, and Professional Regulation and Finance.
756, establishing a campus of the Cebu Normal University in Argao, Cebu, to be known as the Cebu National University, Argao Campus, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Marcos.
Higher Technical and Vocational Education, Finance.
757, amending RA 7941, an act providing for the election of party list representatives to the party list system, appropriating funds therefore, otherwise known as the Party List System Act, and for other purposes, Senator Marcos.
Electoral Reforms and People's Participation.
758, recognizing individual rights over one's likeness and identity, regulating the creation and use of deepfakes to disclosure, consent, and platform accountability, providing remedies and penalties therefore, and for other purposes, Senator Aquino.
Science and Technology and Public Information and Mass Media.
759, an act to modernize the National Business Development Services ecosystem by amending RA 10644, the Go Negosyo Act, Senator Aquino.
Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, Economic Affairs, and Finance.
Senate number 760, amending RA 11337, the Innovative Startup Act by expanding the definition of startups, strengthening interagency coordination, establishing a startup program secretariat, providing additional measures to promote innovation-driven enterprises, Senator Aquino.
Science and Technology, Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, Ways and Means, and Finance.
761, an act to modernize the development of MSMEs by amending RA 6977, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Small Enterprises, as amended by RA 9501, the Magna Carta for Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, Senator Aquino.
Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, Economic Affairs, and Finance.
Senate number 762, establishing a program to formalize micro and small enterprises to simplified registration, transitional support, and access to government assistance, Senator Aquino.
Trade and Commerce, Entrepreneurship, Banks, Financial Institutions, Currencies, Ways and Means, and Finance.
763, establishing a national supplier development program to strengthen MSME participation in domestic and global value chains, creating a supplier development fund, and providing incentives to anchor firms in support of Tatak Pinoy strategies, Senator Aquino.
Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
764, establishing regional research development and innovation committees to strengthen regional innovation ecosystems and implement RA 11293, the Philippine Innovation Act, at the regional level, Senator Aquino.
Economic Affairs, Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
765, ordaining the promotion of social enterprises to alleviate poverty, establishing for the purpose the Poverty Reduction through Social Entrepreneurship Program, and providing support, benefits, and appropriations therefore, Senator Aquino.
Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development, Ways and Means, and Finance.
766, institutionalizing Sustainable Livelihood Program of the Department of Social Welfare and Development, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
Social Justice, Welfare, Rural Development, and Finance.
767, further amending Article 99 of Act Number 3815, the Revised Penal Code, and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
Justice and Human Rights.
76A, penalizing the generation and the dissemination of fake news, amending RA 10175, the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012, Senator Tulfo E.
Justice, Human Rights, Public Information, Mass Media.
769, institutionalizing the Metro Manila Drainage Master Plan, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes, Senator Tulfo E.
Public Works, Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, Futures, Thinking, and Finance.
770, implementing the people's right to information and the constitutional policies of full public disclosure and transparency in public service and for other purposes, Senator Ejercito.
Public Information, Mass Media, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, Professional Regulation, Finance.
771, institutionalizing a varsity sports program in elementary and secondary schools and for other purposes, Senator Villanueva.
Basic Education, Sports, and Finance.
772, amending RA 7309, an act creating a board of claims under the DOJ for victims of unjust imprisonment or detention and victims of violent crimes and for other purposes, Senator Padilla.
Justice, Human Rights, Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development, and Finance.
773, mandating the establishment of a 20-year sports excellence roadmap to strengthen grassroots sports programs and develop world-class elite athletes, appropriating funds and for other purposes, Senator Cayetano P.
Sports and Finance.
774, an act instituting a national land use policy, providing the implementing mechanisms therefore and for other purposes, Senator Cayetano P.
Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, Futures, Thinking, and Finance.
775, strengthening the incentives for private sector participation in public educational institutions, amending RA 8525, the Adopt a School Act of 1998, Senator Cayetano P.
Basic Education, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, Ways and Means.
776, an act providing for an education roadmap towards global competitiveness and human capital development, Senator Cayetano P.
Higher Technical and Vocational Education, Basic Education.
777, instilling and strengthening the sense of patriotism and nationalism among the youth through the institutionalization, development, and administration of fundamental and specialized programs in the basic education curriculum in all public and private educational institutions, Senator Cayetano P.
Basic Education.
778, recognizing the civil effects of church annulment decree, Senator Cayetano P.
Women, Children, Family Relations, Gender Equality.
779, recognizing the foreign decree of termination of marriage and allowing its subsequent registration with the Philippine Civil Registry, amending EO 209, the Family Code of the Philippines, Senator Cayetano P.
Women, Children, Family Relations, Gender Equality.
780, authorizing the DOH to set and approve the bed capacity and service capability of all DOH hospitals, Senator Cayetano P.
Health, Demography, and Finance.
781, promoting sustainable and alternative modes of transportation and mobility options to improve air quality, increase efficiency, reduce congestion, and promote public health, Senator Cayetano P.
Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, Futures, Thinking, Public Services, and Finance.
782, protecting the identity and physical attributes of individuals against the wrongful and improper use of artificial intelligence technology, exacting accountability, and for other purposes, Senator Escudero.
Science and Technology, Public Information, Mass Media.
783, disqualifying relatives of public officials within the fourth civil degree of consanguinity and affinity in all government contracts, Senator Escudero.
Civil Service, Government Reorganization, Professional Regulation, Finance.
784, providing for the condonation of unpaid obligations on the power consumption of Public Utilities Department, no longer proceeded to the Power Sector Assets and Liabilities Management Corporation, Senator Escudero.
Energy, Ways and Means, and Finance.
785, establishing the framework strategy and sustainability reporting covering environmental, social, governance considerations, institutionalizing assurance therefore, and so for other purposes, Senator Legarda.
Sustainable Development Goals, Innovation, Futures, Thinking, Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
786, providing for urban and countryside greening in the Philippines through mandatory tree planting and adoption of forest sanctuary by public schools under the DepEd, Senator Legarda.
Basic Education, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, Finance.
787, an act institutionalizing the Sustainable Livelihood Program and appropriating funds therefore, Senator Legarda.
Social Justice, Welfare, and Rural Development, and Finance.
788, institutionalizing barangay functionaries, defining their roles, providing for their benefits, professionalization, and other forms of support, and for other purposes, Senator Legarda.
Local Government and Finance.
789, institutionalizing the poverty reduction through social entrepreneurship program, promoting social enterprises with the poor as primary stakeholders, strengthening support systems for social impact economies, Senator Legarda.
Trade, Commerce, Entrepreneurship, Social Justice, Welfare, Rural Development, Ways and Means, and Finance.
790, providing for the Magna Carta for public disaster risk reduction and management workers, Senator Legarda.
National Defense and Security, Peace, Unification and Reconciliation, Civil Service, Government Reorganization, Professional Regulation, Finance.
791, 79-1, defining the rights of women deprived of liberty in jails and correctional facilities and providing funds for their enforcement, Senator Legarda.
Justice and Human Rights, Women, Children, Family Relations, and Gender Equality, Finance.
792, strengthening rooming in, breastfeeding, and breast milk banking practices in the Philippines, expanding and amending RA 7600, the Rooming in and Breastfeeding Act of 1992, as amended by RA 10028, and providing funds and mechanisms therefore, Senator Legarda.
Health and Demography, Ways and Means, and Finance.
793, an act for the reallocation of a new spectrum for distance learning, research and development, and for other purposes, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Legarda.
Public Services, Science and Technology, and Finance.
794, further strengthening the incentives for private sector participation in public educational institutions by amending RA 8525, the Adapt a School Act of 1998, Senator Legarda.
Basic Education, Higher Technical and Vocational Education, and Ways and Means.
795, an act institutionalizing the establishment of late-night learning hubs in highly urbanized and first-class component cities to provide safe, sustainable, and accessible public safety spaces and for other purposes, Senator Legarda.
Local Government and Finance.
796, establishing a comprehensive framework for the acquisition of land for public purposes, including infrastructure development through monetary and non-monetary means, providing flexible modes of possession and compensation, appropriating funds therefore, Senator Legarda.
Justice, Human Rights, Public Works, Ways and Means, and Finance.
797, mandating round-the-clock construction for priority infrastructure projects where economically feasible to avoid delays and public disruption, and for other purposes, Senator Legarda.
Public Works, Labor, Employment, Human Resources Development, and Finance.
798, institutionalizing a unified system for post-death services and estate processing, creating the integrated death management system and death management council, and for other purposes, Senator Legarda.
Justice and Human Rights, Science and Technology, Ways and Means, and Finance.
799, providing for the development and protection of the Philippine handloom weaving industry, Senator Legarda.
Science and Technology, Trade, Commerce, and Entrepreneurship, and Finance.
Senate number 800, an act preserving the indigenous sports and games of the Philippines, Senator Legarda.
Culture and the Arts and Sports. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, at this juncture, I move that we dispense with the reading of the Journal of the 11th Session, Tuesday, August 19, 2025, and consider the same as approved.
Is there an objection? There being none, the motion is approved.
Mr. President, at this juncture and with the consent of the body, I move that we consider and adopt the following proposed Senate resolutions. Proposed Senate Resolution number 74, taking into consideration Proposed Senate Resolution number 76. This is commending and congratulating the Philippine Women's National Ice Hockey Team. Proposed Senate Resolution number 72, commending and congratulating the Philippine Youth Chess Team. Proposed Senate Resolution number 68, commending and congratulating the Buglas Filipinas football team, and proposed Senate Resolution number 34, lauding the contributions of Manny Pacquiao, our dear colleague in the field of professional boxing. I so move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The aforementioned resolutions are hereby adopted.
Mr. President, I move that we adjourn the session until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, August 26, 2025. And again, we wish an advance happy birthday greetings to our Minority Leader, Senator Tito Soto, and Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
I see the smiles of my colleagues. Advance happy birthday to our Minority Leader,
Mr.
to our
President,
former Senate President.
Mr. President, ganyan na lang ba yan, Mr. President? Happy birthday greetings na lang.
Is there any objection? There being none, this session is adjourned until 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Tuesday, August 26, 2025.